Now this set of exercises is really about adding strength to the legs, but it's also what we call a functional exercise set, because it's all movements that can really help you with lifting and carrying your baby. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to think about the balance and the way we need to control our core muscles when we're just walking along. So what I'm going to ask Alison to do, and she's holding George here, is to think about her posture first of all. So what we tend to do postnatally is after having had a baby, we tend to let the lower back go and our belly stick out. So what I want Alison to do is just to gently drop the tailbone, try and keep the knees straight as you do that, and just lift your belly and pull your tummy muscles in. So she's creating a nice strong base from which to work, making sure that she hasn't got that exaggerated curve in her lower back. She's holding George really nice and close to her body, and she's also got his weight distributed evenly across her front. Try and avoid, if you can, holding your baby on the hip. I know it's practical because it frees up a hand for you to do other things, but as much as you can, try to hold your baby centrally, because it isn't good for your spine if you're constantly carrying a baby on one hip. What we're trying to do is keep the weight evenly distributed. So we're now going to connect to our core muscles. So what I want you to do is take a breath, inhale. As you exhale, peel your right foot off the floor and hold out the front. It can be the left or right, doesn't matter which foot. And hold out, that's good. But you'll probably feel your body leaning over to the other side. So what I want you to do, Alison, is to actually take the weight off one leg. That's it. And try and keep your body weight central. Now connect to your core muscles as you do that. Place the foot back. And do what we call a rise and fall through the feet. So you're just lifting one foot and then the other foot off the floor and holding the pelvis level. Now imagine your pelvis has a stake running through it from one hip to the other. You try not to allow it to tip. And if you think about it, if Alison takes her leg back again, I want you to do the same thing too. Change feet again, hold, connect to your core. So this is exactly the same as if you were walking along, yeah? And change legs again. Try not to let the hips sink. So rather than letting the hips sink, yeah, you're rising and falling through the feet and holding your posture nice and tall. Now to make it a little bit harder, you can take the foot right off the floor as you hold it in front and try and balance and hold. This is quite hard to do. Pull your tummy muscles in and try and lift up tall, tall, tall as you do this. And change legs one more time, holding and balancing. Good, you all right there? Give your legs working?
Yeah.
All right, and release. Now, a really nice exercise to do in between all this is something I call rocking the baby. And that is to, as you're holding your baby, just to turn the toes in and just release. Now, this releases tension in the bottom muscles at the back here. And if you're holding onto your core, so again, pull up through your tummy muscles, pull up through your pelvic floor, lift your belly button back towards your spine. And as you rotate, you can feel a little bit of a wind up, a tightening in your waist at the same time. Yeah? And this obviously is a good thing to do in between doing these exercises. So the next thing we're going to do is a squat. Now squatting is a good way to get down to the floor whilst holding your baby. We're going to start off with a narrow squat. We actually call this a monkey squat. If you were to do it without holding your baby, so if your baby's resting on the floor or maybe asleep in his or her cot, you don't need to hold your baby. You could hold your hands in the position I'm in here. If not, stay with Alison, holding nice and tight towards your chest. Drop your weight down into your heels and lower back, holding your spine in a neutral line. So try to take your weight back, Alison, so you're going to tip the body weight forward, okay? So your knees shouldn't go over your toes. So if you come up again for me, stick your bottom out behind you, that's it, and bend your knees, perfect, okay? Can you see the difference there? All right, so Alison's actually taking her weight back. And the first one she did, she was pushing her knees a little bit too far forward. This is how you lower towards the floor and lift up again. With a narrow position though, it's hard to get very low to the floor. So if you try this with a wider position, so you take the legs wider and turn your feet out a little bit, this not only works the muscles differently, it'll work your inner thighs a bit more, but it'll allow you to lower closer to the floor with your baby. So taking it wide, make sure you're holding your baby close to your chest, draw your shoulders down, pull up through the pelvic floor, belly button back towards your spine, lower down in a wider position, so you can go a little bit lower. Set, and lift back up again. Draw the shoulders down and lower down again. Make sure you're keeping your back nice and neutral. That's holding that natural line. Connect your tummy muscles all the time and lower down again. So if Alison wanted to, she could lower all the way down to the floor in this position. She might need to take her feet a little bit wider but it's a safe way to get down to the floor. The reason it's safe is because your back isn't under strain. What is under strain is your leg muscles and your backside muscles, and that's a good thing because we want to add strength to these muscles. Lower down one more time. And this is quite hard to do whilst carrying a baby because your baby is obviously adding weight, so that makes it quite a challenge on the legs. So let's go back to our rocking the baby action again. Set. Now another way to get down to the floor is to do a lunging action. So we're going to do a lunging action now. So if you come over this way a little bit more, Alison, that's lovely. What we're going to do is take a step back behind us, and what I'd like you to do is step back. We're going to step back with our left leg, you're going to step back with your right leg. So take a step back behind you, yeah, and hold that position there. Now your back heel needs to be off the floor. Now traditionally when you do a lunge, lifting and lowering a weight like a box or something like that, we tend to do a narrow position and lower down to the floor. This, however, can put a strain on your knees. It may not be straining your back, but it's going to strain your knees. So what I want you to do is take a deeper step, so you're using your leg muscles, not straining on the knees. Lift your back up nice and tall and push your hip forward. So take this leg further back from the other side, that's it, a little bit more. And bend your knee, and now push your hip underneath you. Okay, and lower down, good. And lift back up. And just try that on the other side. How does that feel? Hard on the legs?
Yeah, you can feel it, yeah.
So changing legs, take the back leg slightly further back so your back heel is off the ground. And as you're lowering down, push your hip underneath you, make sure you're not pushing your front knee forward. So you can see Alison's knees going a little bit too far forward there. So if that's happening, take your back leg further back. So take your back leg a little bit further back for me.
Yeah.
That's it. And lower down. Okay. And lift back up. Now you can see that's quite a challenge for Alison at the moment, which is why you need to add leg strength. So you do these as exercises to increase your leg strength. So we're now just going to hold that position, draw the shoulders back and down and repeat the lunging action, but don't go quite so low. So come down and lift back up. Good. And again lower down and lift back up. So I'm going to ask Alison to repeat this through about 4 more times through. And again. You do so as well. And then change legs, and we'll do the same thing again on the other side. How are you feeling? All right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So make sure you're holding your core all the time, tummy muscles in. Make sure you're dropping the tailbone slightly so you haven't got that exaggerated curve in your back, lowering down. So again, we need to make sure this knee doesn't go over the toe, so take the back leg slightly further back for me. That's good. Lowering down and lifting back up again. You okay?
Yeah.
Keep pulling your tummy muscles in. Keep working through those back muscles. Keep drawing the shoulder blades back and down. Try another 4 for me. You okay?
Yeah.
Remember, you can stop whenever you want to. Don't overdo it. 2 more. And last one. And I think it's time to do that rocking the baby again and just relax those legs, all right? Well done. Very good. Now to finish off this strength section, we're going to add some upper body movement to go with the leg action. And this is something that we're going to use in the advanced section and also for a little pram workout that you can do outside as well. So this is the beginnings of it. So first of all, we're going to go down into a lunge again. So we're going to take our left leg. I'd like you to take your right leg back behind you. So take the leg back, exactly the same as you've done before in your lunges. Make sure the back heel is off the ground, because what we don't want to do is to bring the knees too far forward. Heel off the ground, drop the back knee and have your pelvis pushing forward slightly. Now come down into a half lunge position and hold that position. So Alison, if you slide your back leg a little bit further back for me. Perfect, lovely. Now we're going to imitate some upper body movements. So the first one is a rowing action. So I want you to imagine you are holding onto a wheel in front of you, gripping around the wheel with your fingers. What you're actually going to be holding onto is an exercise band. Pulling your core muscles, pull your tummy muscles in, pull up through your pelvic floor, and just row back, pulling your arms back behind you. Now this should feel very challenging on the legs. Not challenging on the upper body at the moment, but it should feel challenging on the legs. Keep pulling your tummy muscles in, keep connecting to your core, keep drawing the shoulder blades back and down as you do this. I'd like you to do about 8 more of these. If your legs start to feel really shaky, ease off and come into a standing position, still working the upper body. So we're going to introduce upper body movement whilst working the legs. So go for about another 2. And relax and release it. Just shake everything out, shake the legs out. We're going to change legs. So you're going to take your left leg back, we're going to take the right leg back behind. Hold that position. Now remember, make sure the back heel is off the ground. Drop the back knee, bending the back knee, and push your pelvis underneath you. So you're kind of pushing your tailbone underneath you a little bit. This will create a little bit of a pull down the front thigh of the back leg, okay? Now lift your belly, drop down into your lunge, and this time we're going to do what we call a fly action. So hold your arms out in front with the elbows slightly bent. Imagine this was a closed umbrella, and now you're going to open the umbrella, pull the arms back, okay? And then close the umbrella again. And again, open it. And close it. It's good. Go through this for about another 8 repetitions. How are you doing, Alison? Okay?
Fine, yeah.
Now your legs should be feeling challenged, but you shouldn't feel any stress in your back. You shouldn't feel any stress in your knees. If you feel anything in your knees, take your back leg further back and just make sure it's the thighs that are doing the work, the leg muscles and your backside muscles. If your backside isn't feeling like it's doing anything, just clench your buttock on your back leg. Just literally squeeze it and push your tailbone down underneath you a little bit. And rest it there, well done. And shake the legs out. So your legs should have had quite a big workout now, so we're going to give them a good stretch. So the first stretch I want you to do is for the hamstring muscle at the back of the leg. So if you just extend your leg out for me, Alison, that's it. And then take your butt back behind you. And just hold that position there. So you're just trying to lengthen down the back of the leg. Try and take your bottom out if you can. Take the bottom out and keep your chest lifted. That's it. Okay, you can drop your chin a little bit, just keep your chest up, that's it. And then change legs. Other legs, stretching down the back of the leg. If you take your toes up, it will stretch into the calf muscle as well, which is always a good thing to stretch up. So Alison, take your toes up off the floor, that's it, lovely. Take the bottom back. Tummy muscles in, always connecting to those tummy muscles, and release it. Now I'm going to get Alison to lean onto me to do this next exercise. You can just hold onto a chair or balance up against a wall. So you turn to face me and you can just put your hands, yeah, that's fine. Take one hand down by your side because you're going to bend your leg up like that, okay? That's it. Now when you're doing this stretch, you can see Alison's finding it quite hard. That's why you need to be able to have something to balance on. When you're doing this stretch, if the muscles are really tight like Alison is, it's going to make you bend your back. So you've got to connect your core. So pull your tummy muscles in. That's it, good, well done. If you really can't reach onto your foot, you can hold onto the back of your shoe. You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Or you can put a towel around your foot and do it that way. But really importantly, the most important thing is Alison is pulling her tummy in, and just for an added stretch, I want you to push your hip forward. Now the reason us mums get so tight in our front thigh muscles is because we have to spend so long sitting with our babies whilst feeding them, and this really tightens and shortens this muscle. You should do this stretch every day. Whenever you think about it, try and do this stretch because it's a really important one to do. You alright? Okay, and release, and change sides, other leg, that's it. Okay, you alright?
Yeah.
Okay, so pull your tummy muscles in, that's it, you alright?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can try and straighten out your body a little bit more for me, that's it. Lean on me. That's it. It's quite hard to do if the muscles are really, really tight. So again, pull your tummy in, that's it. And release it. So remember, if you feel you're very tight in that area, do this stretch every day and it will really help.